In the world we live in now, the richest 1% control 48% of the total wealth, and the top 80 richest people are worth as much as half the world's population, or about 3.5 billion people. When you look at these numbers, there is no doubt that there is a gap between the rich and the poor. People often think that these rich people got their money by being born into money or by winning a lottery, but that's not true. In fact, only 11 of the 80 richest people got their money from their families. The other 69 made their money through their own hard work and determination. One of these 69 people is none other than the famous investor Warren Buffett. Like most of these rich people, Warren Buffett grew up in a middle-class family, but he found a way to gain the knowledge and skills that helped him become worth over $70 billion. We've all seen people with a lot of money and others with almost nothing. But have you ever stopped to think about what really separates the rich from the poor? Yes, the obvious answer is that the rich have a lot more money than the poor, but I'm talking about other reasons than just money. When you think about it, a rich person and a poor person can live in the same city, have the same jobs, and only have 24 hours in a day. But the poor person can be living paycheck to paycheck, while the rich person has more money than they could spend in a lifetime. So what really makes the difference between someone who will make billions of dollars in their lifetime and someone who will struggle with money their whole life? Well, I'll explain the differences between our rich friend John and our poor friend Tim by comparing them to each other. This way, you can learn to act like a rich person and have financial success in your own life. Before we get started, you should know that John and Tim have similar IQs, come from middle-class families, and live in the same city. In short, neither man is better than the other, but their bank accounts are on opposite ends of the money spectrum. It's Monday afternoon, and both John and Tim are coming home from work. When Tim gets home from work, he goes to his couch, turns on Netflix, and watches hours of mindless TV to forget about how long his day was. Tim's boss told him he should read more books to improve his chances of getting promoted this year, but Tim doesn't want to read, especially now that a new season of his favorite show is out. When John gets home, he immediately logs into his computer to start studying. John spends hours going over his notes for his upcoming exam. John already has a master's degree and multiple certifications, but he still puts in a few hours every night to work toward another certification that will help him move up the corporate ladder faster. John recently learned that one of his heroes, Dan Lok, spends more than $500,000 a year on learning. John thinks that if millionaires are spending that much time and money to learn new things, he should do the same. So difference number one between the rich and the poor is that the rich never stop learning. The next day at work, Tim's boss starts giving bonuses to all of the employees. Tim opens his envelope and sees that he got a $100 bonus, which is much less than all of his coworkers. Tim goes up to his boss and complains that he's been at the company for 10 years and that this bonus is embarrassing. His boss goes on to say that Tim never stays late to help his team and that his work has gotten worse every year since he started. Over in another part of town, John is working hard on a project at work when his boss comes to talk to him. His boss hands him an envelope, and when he opens it, he sees a $10,000 check in his name. John is stunned and very grateful for the big bonus. John's boss goes on to say that John has been putting in a lot of hours lately, and that his last project saved the company $1 million in operating costs. So this was the least they could do to thank him for his work. So difference number two is the high sell price and the low sell time. The following week, Tim is counting down the days until Thursday, when he gets paid. As soon as his boss gives him his bi-weekly check, he runs to the bank and starts sending payments to all of his creditors. He sends money to his landlord, his power company, and of course, his monthly payment for income tax. When Tim gets to the end of the month, he decides to see how much money he saved. As soon as he opens his balance, he sees that not only did he not save any money, but his account is also lower than it was a month ago. Tim has no idea where all of the money could have gone. When John gets paid, $500 is automatically taken out and put into a savings account that he can't access. After making sure he has enough money in his savings for the month, John pays his mortgage, pays his utilities, and sends his monthly income taxes to the government. At the end of the month, John smiles as he sees that his bank balance has grown again, making him even richer than he already is. So difference number three is that the rich pay themselves first, while the poor pay themselves last. One night after work, Tim is watching TV and sees an ad for a new high-definition TV. Tim can only afford to spend $1,000 on entertainment devices in a year. Tim is thinking about making this purchase, but he also wants to buy the new PlayStation that just came out, but it costs $500, so he can't get both. Tim pouts, wishing that his boss wasn't so bad and had given him a bigger bonus so that he could buy both. John wants to reward himself for all this hard work and decides to buy himself a new gaming system and TV. John also has a budget of $1,000 for his purchase, but he really wants both the new state-of-the-art TV and PlayStation console. Instead of choosing between the two, John asks himself how he can get both. John thinks he can take on a side consulting job to earn the extra $500 he needs to pay for the PlayStation and build himself the perfect gaming setup as a way to celebrate his big accomplishment. So the fourth difference is that the rich have a growth mindset and the poor have a fixed mindset. Tim dreads going to work every day, so he has made getting a Frappuccino from Starbucks a regular part of his morning routine. Tim knows that he couldn't even make it through a few hours of work without his sugary latte, so he's happy to pay $5 a day for his morning caffeine boost. John, on the other hand, walks right by Starbucks every day, but instead of getting an expensive latte, he drinks the free coffee that is served at work. Even though the coffee isn't as good as a Starbucks drink, he thinks that being able to save $5 a day on coffee is well worth it. John has been saving that $5 a day for a year and now has $1,500, which he is going to use to take a trip to Mexico with his friends that includes everything. John also knows that delaying gratification helps him take on the traits of his rich friends. He learned this from a Temple University study. The study ranked the most important factors that determine wealth. Occupation, education, location, and gender were the most important, but delaying instant gratification was more important than age, race, ethnicity, and height. Researchers think that a person's ability to imagine bigger future rewards makes them much less likely to give in to short-term pleasures. This is why it was easy for him to turn down a daily latte when he thought about all the fun he would have with his friends on the beach in Mexico. So difference number 5 is that the rich understand the power of delaying gratification, while the poor look for short-term pleasure. As the economy starts to get worse, many companies start to let people go as a way to save money. Tim's boss sends him a note one afternoon while he is at his desk, scrolling through Facebook and doing the bare minimum to keep his job. The message says, "Please leave your laptop and badge at the front desk. We're letting you go." Tim starts to freak out because he doesn't know how he will pay his rent and bills now that his only source of income is gone. Tim always thought that being an employee meant having a job for life, but after he was fired, he began to wonder if he had been wrong about this for so long. Unfortunately for John, his boss also fires him. In an exit interview, John's boss talks for an hour about what a great worker John is and how he fired all of the other employees before he fired John. John graciously accepted his situation, thanked his boss for the chance, and told him that he would be fine financially. John knew that no job is safe, so as soon as he started working, he started building an online business and adding to a dividend stock portfolio. These are now big enough to keep him going until he finds another job. So the sixth difference is that the rich build up multiple sources of income, while the poor depend on only one. About a week after getting fired, Tim is at home moping with his other loser friends about how bad the economy is and how hard it will be to find another job. They keep talking about how unfair life has been to them and how they would be rich if they had had the same lucky breaks as others. John, on the other hand, has dinner at his house with his close friends the night after he was fired. As the group is eating, John tells them that his company fired him because of the bad economy, but he assures them that he has other ways to make money that will more than cover his current lifestyle. One friend says excitedly that now is the best time for John to join his construction company, and he offers John an executive position. Another friend jumps in and asks John if he wants to start a consulting business with her. They have worked well together in the past and could quickly become one of the best firms in the city. So difference number 7 is that the rich hang out with other rich people, while the poor hang out with other broke people. To sum up, the difference between the rich and the poor is that the rich never stop learning. They sell value instead of time, they pay themselves first. They have a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. They use the power of delaying gratification. They build multiple streams of income, and they surround themselves with other rich people. Thank you all so much for watching. Please click like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one.